at first, guys, I just want to say congratulations to all the award winners. Just absolutely amazing, and all the speakers that we had the privilege of listening to over the past 3 days. And special thank you to Jamie and Leanne for giving us the opportunity to speak, and Frank Moore and Lavelle for always being on our side and making sure we had the leadership and support. And then lastly, and I'll save the best for last, the team. And without them, none of this would be possible. Well, actually, and then my wife, because definitely if she wasn't on board, this definitely would not be possible. So today, guys, we're talking about going from salesperson to builder. A little bit about Sophie and I. We joined the Xperia Financial about 5 years ago. We came in with an open mind, but the goal was always to be the best top personal producer. And a lot of this didn't really change until much later, but it came with a change of mindset. And coming to Xperia, the biggest obstacle for me was that mindset shift. In every role I had prior to Xperia Financial, it involved sales. So whether it was a mechanic, as a mechanic, I had to upsell clients on services. At the bank, in the call center, where I had to upsell clients on products. At Sun Life, where my main goal was to sell as much insurance as possible. I didn't understand how recruiting would benefit me, and I actively resisted that at the beginning. In fact, I was consistently hearing conversations alongside about building a business, and I chose not to listen. It came down to Xperia's tribal model, and I kept hearing that over and over again. To me at the time, for me, it actually meant that I was in the most opportunistic place to be a producer, and the thought of having conversations with people about joining the business was uncomfortable. So I'd rather sit down and put together financial plans versus explaining the opportunity. So what that really meant was that I was actually working in my business, not on my business. Then one day I started hearing conversations about one of our teammates, so it was actually Neela, and that she needed help in reaching her next promotion. And the competitor in me was like, well, why am I not hitting my next promotion? What do I have to do to get there? And apart from a higher bonus, what does it really mean for me, and how does it support my why? I was always a big believer in vetting my activities against my priorities. And the one dream, like many of us have, was to achieve financial freedom. See, both my wife and I, we actually came from both very low income environments. So for those of you that know Toronto, I came from Jane and Wilson, she came from Jane and Finch. And for the longest time growing up, I always dreamt of being able to make a six-figure income and being able to live without worries of money and finances. And contrary to what I experienced in growing up. And that's when recruiting started to make sense. It became the key to financial freedom. See, I can go out there and see clients all day long, but how far would that really take me? And this is when our business started to change, right? And this slide here is not to showcase my achievements. All of these accolades, it's a team effort. It's collective with all the people on the team. And without the people that have chosen to be in business with me, none of this would have happened. Now, I want you to focus on the numbers in orange and see how as they increase, the business grew. Now, I love what I do, and I don't see myself ever taking a back seat as an advisor. And that was one of the things that held me back. Yet I always remembered in the Vaughan office in our trainings, a saying that was always echoed, which is recruit by day and sell by night. And after I found the balance in my business, my activities quickly took a life of their own. And we as a team quickly built a business that changed so many lives. I'm not just talking about the clients that we were able to see. I'm talking about the lives that we were able to free, right? As many of you know, FML stands for Free More Lives, right? That's basically our mantra. That's what we live by. And, then the next shift was putting together the financial freedom plan, right? And for me, financial freedom was, well, I had to think about what does that actually look like? Do you know what it takes for you and your family to achieve your goals and dreams? Complete your own financial analysis and then reverse engineer the numbers to their root activities. So for example, the amount of clients per month, the amount of licenses in your business, open yourself to one of the most amazing streams of passive income that Xperia has to offer. And when I think back to all the absolutely amazing people that are partnering with me in business and where we all came from, it makes me super emotional. And most of you know I'm a very stoic guy. But many of us have been able to do things we've never been able to do financially because of what we have access to here, right? And here's a few of them. I want to highlight some of the biggest builders in Team Tugboat, right? I want to start off with Sean Hiscock. He joined me right at the start of COVID, and he had to persevere through the last couple of years, but he built a truly amazing team that's out there following his lead every step of the way. And you know what, Sean, I want to thank you and your team for putting your trust in me and following me on this journey. Right now we have Tyrone Hines, which you heard from a little bit earlier. And what I have to say about Dr. T, well, you know what? I worked with him I've known him for well over a decade, actually. We worked at the bank and the call center together. We worked at Sun Life together. Now we're brothers in business together here at Experior. And Tyrone was very much like me. He was a producer at heart, and he found his path, and he was able to take, just being able to build a business allowed him to take his family from one of the roughest areas in Brampton and took his family out of that area where there was gunshots, finding bullets in his backyard, and being able to put his family in a better position, buy a house, live the dream that he envisioned for his family, become an ED, six-figure earner, right? And, Tyrone's just, he epitomizes the role of a leader, just going out there and changing lives day after day. And then finally, Scotty Helensky. What did I say about this guy? He was probably the biggest anti-recruiting individual I've ever met. And, through just working and he's coachable, and he eventually saw how being able to build a business of financial advisors was the key to him helping his family and helping just create absolutely amazing stuff out there in this world. And you know what, Scotty, definitely a pleasure to be in business with you, brother. But guys, there's so many more. See, you're not just building a business, you're building a family, right? People who are there to support you as much as you're there to support them. You share the same fight, you walk the same path, you celebrate the same successes, and you grow together. And you have to make sure that your family has a home they can grow in and thrive in, right?
Yeah, and to create that home, you as a leader need to switch your hat from, just in the same way how we switched our hat from being an employee to being a business owner, we switched the hat from being a salesperson or a producer to being a builder. And when we decide that we are being a builder, we start with ourselves. How do we build ourselves up? So by connecting with our training, for example, or reading self-help books, we're constantly challenging ourselves to become better and better leaders, better and better business owners. And I know Tariq and I, we often have these conversations. We are really authentic and real with each other of, hey, you're maybe spending too much time doing this, or, hey, this needs some attention right now. And we tell each other and we work on that. Because here's the thing, if you don't work on yourself, how are you going to be there for other people? Now, Tariq and I, we have created a unified vision here. So next slide. Our particular agency we call the Tugboats. I know a lot of you are silly. It's like, how do the tugboats relate to insurance? Well, the tugboat is a boat that it's small, but it pulls the big ship. And in relationship to the ship that we're on, which is the FML hierarchy, we have seen our tugboats succeed and be sprinkled across all the scoreboards. And we're so proud of them. They show up year after year after year. And that's not a surprise. It's not a surprise because we stand on the shoulders of giants. That is Frank, Morrow, and Laval. And Frank always shows up for us. He is like the father for all of our fathers. And he always finds the energy to energize us when we as leaders feel bottomed out. And that is why we need to put on that builder hat, and we need to challenge ourselves and need to get better and build our skills so that others can stand on our shoulders as well. And then after you build yourself as the leader, you build your team, and that is through recruiting. You bring people in and you have that unified vision. And our unified vision is, of course, the tugboats. And we have that in different ways. We have that in our iconography, in our names. We also have that as just jokes, and personalities come out, and the tugboats take each other, just as friends, and we make jokes all the time. And it was actually quite poignant for us last year because when the Panama canals got clogged up, it was the tugboats that saved the world. So, we definitely feel inspired by that. Think that we as a team are unified in that way. And then finally, when you have that unity and you have that energy and all of the leaders are building themselves, something that comes out of it is something you can't plan. which is the family. And for us, Experior has been family. Experior has been there for our family, everything from the birth of our child until when our sister went missing. And we are so thankful for that. There's not a day that we don't feel gratitude for who you are as colleagues, as workers, as teammates, and as people. So for energizing us and for inspiring us and for believing in us and also keeping us challenged so that we get better, we want to just thank you.
Awesome. Guys, yeah, you know what, once again, definitely a pleasure and honor to be speaking in front of all of you today. And, you know what, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Hey, if you like this video or any of the other videos that I have on my channel, stay tuned. We have so many more coming, but I want to make sure that you're in the know, that you know when they're coming. So please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the notification bell.